Well, hello people of Playground. Today we're going to talk about context in prompting and why it's a key factor when you're building your prompts. Let's start off with a simple prompt: comic style anthropomorphic dog in the city at night, thick ink outlines. Now as we take a look at the images, you see that we have a dog in the city at night, but it's not exactly anthropomorphic, right? Now if we take a look at the prompt, it's very general. It's going to give us a wide variety of images, and guaranteed if I run it a few times, I'm going to get an anthropomorphic dog eventually. With that being said, as I always say, we want to add as much detail as possible to describe the overall scene. If we focus on the subject, let's give it more context. The meaning behind anthropomorphic just means human-like. So in order to make this dog look more human-like, we can be more specific and add things like clothing. So let's put in here wearing a jean jacket, and now we have a proper anthropomorphic dog. And he looks pretty cool in my opinion. However, if you notice, the images are in a half body perspective. So let's say we want to do a full body shot. Typically what we would do is we'd put full body in the prompt, right? So let's put that in and generate some images. And if we take a look at the images, we're not getting the full body perspective, right? Once again, let's think of the overall context. I'm going to say this a lot just to drive my point. Now typically full body works more in the context of people, but in this case for our anthropomorphic dog, we have to give it more context. So a good way to approach this is to add more details and be more specific. Now how we can do that is let's put in that he's wearing ripped jeans and Converse shoes. With the first two images here, we see now we have that full body perspective. We do have one half body perspective, but that's going to happen. It's not always going to be perfect. However, if you want to increase the likelihood of getting a full body shot, let's add more context. So in this case, we could put him standing on a sidewalk corner, walking on the street in the city, standing on a stage, whatever the case may be. Now you're giving more overall context. So let's put in walking on the sidewalk in the city at night. Now out of the 4 generated images, we see all 4 of them in a full body perspective. Now if we think back to previous videos where I mentioned when you're building a prompt, you want to follow a basic prompt structure. Type of image, subject, environment, and action. And within all these categories, you always want to give some sort of context. So the more specific you can be about your scene, the more coherent the image will be to your prompt. And by the way, this is our official prompt guide that should be released by the time this video comes out. I'll leave a link in the description below. We're going to add more to it as we go, but for those of you that are just starting out, I encourage you to check out the prompt guide. We explain basic prompt structure, word order, prompting for composition in context, which we are talking about today. And then we get into modifiers as well. Things like art mediums, different types of art styles. There's even some prompts that we've listed for you to try, and an image gallery from our very own members, which we will be adding to more each week. Now back to the topic at hand. One of the things that I like to do is state the environment. In this scene, I listed out mountains, waterfalls, and cherry blossoms, but I also stated an autumn scene to get this nice sunset look, as well as the vivid colored skies. Time of day could also work wonders, so don't just state a city, but prompting for city at night could totally transform your image. Weather could also set the tone of the overall image instead of prompting for all these little details. In the scene, I just stated thunderstorm and lightning. So in closing, remember context. If you're having issues with the composition or you're just not getting the right results, chances are you just need to add more context to the image, whether it's a subject sitting on the park bench, dancing at a club. Now be sure to stay tuned as we're going to dive deeper into prompting concepts. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions. In the meantime, if you want to check out some line art styles, make sure to check out this video. Until that next one, this is Playground.